Hi guys. So, day six, almost there. 12 days of Christmas. So on the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me six geese a laying. Um, so the six geese a laying apparently represents the 6 days of creation. Um, I've heard a lot of conversations with a lot of people about this over the years, and for me, it's not a problem for me to believe that God created the world in 6 days, um, like at all. So I find it interesting that some people's argument is, "Oh, well, I don't see how it could happen, therefore it couldn't have happened." The reason I find it interesting is because, like, let's take it back to basics. Um, if there is a God, why wouldn't He be able to do that? And why does the fact that you um, don't believe it, why does that preclude it happening? It's a very, forgive me, very arrogant way at look at way of looking at life. We are, however old, have whatever intellect we have, but because I don't understand it, therefore it can't have happened. Anyway, now I was thinking about it from a health point of view. Um, I was thinking there are six things that I would encourage you to know. So, um, number one, we've got waist circumference. So waist circumference is important because carrying extra weight specifically around your waist increases risk factors for things like diabetes and metabolic syndrome and issues like that. So knowing your waist circumference is a big issue. Is an issue. No, separate to that. Number two, knowing your BMI, because again, being overweight in itself, without any other issues, is an independent risk factor for other problems. So this is not fat shaming. This is just what the evidence showed us. So knowing your BMI, knowing your blood pressure, so knowing the actual numbers rather than being told, "Oh, no, it's fine," because again, blood pressure, especially in black and minority ethnic communities, is a big issue. Blood pressure often has no symptoms, and people can have okay blood pressure for a long time, but not controlling it well can cause problems later. So it's important that we know the numbers. So waist circumference, BMI, blood pressure, cholesterol. Know your cholesterol, because again, that is an independent risk factor for cardiovascular disease. So just knowing what it is, informed is armed. And number five, what was the last thing? Family history. Now, the thing about all these kinds of things, they're all risk factors. The fact that you've got a family history of diabetes or hypertension or stroke doesn't mean that you are going to suffer from those things. It does mean that you're probably more at risk than somebody who doesn't have a family history of those things. But again, informed is armed. It helps you be able to mitigate and change to be able to reduce the risk in the future. So, for instance, and again, not doing it, it's your choice not to, but again, is it the smart thing to do? If you know that your car leans to the right when you're driving it, you're going to drive it and tilt it to the left as a corrective measure. Now, you could say, well, why have I got to do that? I'll just let it do what it's got to do, but that's going to increase the risk of problems in the future. Now, not knowing that your car leads to the right doesn't reduce the risk, but being aware of it helps you be able to mitigate the risk. So I would encourage you in this. And the sixth thing I would say is that have a why, have a really strong why. Why do you want to be healthy? Have a really strong why. So, do you want to see your kids and your grandkids? Do you want to be able to interact with them? Do you want to be around to help your family? People use this analogy when it comes to like success and financial success. On a plane, they say that when something happens and the oxygen masks come down, put the mask on yourself first and then put it on someone else. So that's what people say in terms of why they want to be successful, because they can affect more people that way. I would say that there's also an argument to be made from a health point of view. Doing the best that you can do for yourself so that you can be healthy gives you the availability to help other people. So, 6 days of Christmas. Think about these things, know your own risks, modify your own risks. And again, if God is God, why would there be a problem for him to be able to create the world in 6 days?